Hey everybody, welcome to the Grease Trap.
Brought to you by Coke Zero.
Is this the Grease Trap? We're doing this as a we're doing a Grease Trap for okay.
Yeah. We're doing the Grease Trap for this episode.
Don't confuse Paul, TJ. Come on.
It is. I mean, it gets kind of confusing the more we have.
Don't fucking
a
confuse
back
them.
catalog. We're probably gonna have to commit to like organizing shit a little better, but whatever.
My future's too bright.
Yeah.
I got to wear shades.
Is that what's going on?
Yep.
Okay. So maybe we should talk a little bit about the episode we're about to do.
Why would we do that?
You know, because I felt like we were on. I felt like
You guys are going to spoil something. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
No, you're right.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the only thing I really wanted to say about it is that. We were talking about it. We were talking about how I saw maybe like 40% of these commercials. Scotty saw practically none of them because he was hard at work. Paul, you didn't watch it at all. Scotty, you barely saw it because you were hard at work in the kitchen, and Paul was saying that you're basically turning into Paul's mom.
Yeah. I feel bad for my mom because whenever there's a big event like that, especially the Super Bowl, she doesn't get to watch it. She's in the kitchen, like reheating things and fixing up new things.
Don't you think that maybe that's
where
you think that's where she's maybe happiest though?
Oh yeah. Oh, she definitely seeks that position out, or at least used to. Mom has slowed down just a little bit.
Right, because, I mean, you know.
She's getting old.
Right, I mean, she's like
getting up there in years.
She's like in her 60s.
But I'm telling you, dude, my mom, back in the day especially, would have blown your fucking mind.
I know, right?
I'm sure.
Well, she she blew my mind just the time that we did visit, and, I mean, like, she's definitely one of these people. There's certain people that have this personality of, like, aggressive hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
And she's definitely one of those where it's like, you know, it's not just a matter of like, here's some food, take it or leave it. It's like, you're eating this fucking food. And she's like putting it in front of you like, you must now survive the gauntlet of food.
Yeah.
And it's all delicious, but she expects you to eat more than a human being is even fucking capable of eating.
I'm fine with that, dude.
Which is cool. I like it.
It's an experience, dude.
It reminds me a lot of the the D&D campaign we did with the Gourmand.
Yeah.
It was like, feast, dude. I always remember just leaving your mom's house, and she had like a full bag of Doritos.
Oh, and she tries to make you take shit, too.
She's like, here's a bag of Doritos. Don't you want this? And I'm like, I guess. It's like, why is Paul's mom just give me a full bag? I'm not telling you, it was like a big, huge bag of Doritos.
Take these Doritos with you,
anything
sweetie.
else you need? It's
Get
like
them Doritos.
Like, damn,
she wants
dude.
to send people home with like 3 more meals after they come to have a meal.
I know.
It's the best.
And it's awesome because the food is, dude, your mom's a great cook.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's the truth.
Those enchiladas or whatever it was that she made was fucking dope.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite shit there.
Oh, yeah. And they had that rib cook-off at Paul's house where everyone, like, competes in, like, a rib-off or whatever the
all
fuck.
my cousins cook different racks of ribs, and then we have, like, a secret ballot vote for the winner.
That was cool.
And all the ribs are usually really good.
Oh, God,
It's the only time of the year that I'll eat ribs.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it. I mean, if it's like a family, like you got to, because you want to vote. I mean, you got to be able to fucking get the vote.
You got to have your fucking, you got to put your 2 cents in for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know you don't even really do the bone-in meat, and I'm like, ribs are kind of for me like a messy thing. So I'm like kind of persnickety about like messy foods. But
I love ribs though, man.
But ribs are so fucking good though.
So bad for you, but so good.
They're not bad for you. They're great.
Okay, TJ.
They're wonderful.
You know what's bad for you? I learned listening to the radio on the way over here.
Oh, shit, really?
Instead of, like, plugging my phone in and doing the Bluetooth so I can listen to whatever I want, I've decided to just listen to, I think it's WRBH out of New Orleans, which it's a radio show that reads things to blind people.
Okay.
It like, reads news and news magazines and books.
That's kind of interesting.
To blind people, yeah.
Okay.
So I listen every day when I'm on my way over here. I'm listening to the news, and they told me today that the most dangerous thing that you can eat is leafy greens.
Oh shit!
Oh wow, shit!
Because of the huge infection rate with E. coli and shit.
Damn.
Man, good thing I don't eat many of those.
Yep.
It's like leafy greens.
Oh,
like,
man.
I'm fine.
I was going to make some collard greens tonight. You think that's okay because I'm, like, cooking them down so much?
Well, yeah, they were talking about that. Like, one of the reasons that's true is because greens are most often eaten raw.
Right.
Whereas like meat may be contaminated, but then it gets cooked at a temperature that's enough to kill off the bacteria. Whereas not a lot of people are cooking their lettuce.
And I'm going to cook the shit out of these collard greens. So,
yeah, you'll be fine.
So they'll be fine.
You'll be fine. But I mean, I eat salads and shit. Like I have a bag of spinach at home, and I make a salad with dinner or whatever the fuck. And
rolling them dice every time.
I guess the worst of the worst is romaine lettuce, though.
Really, man?
Yeah,
that's
what,
crazy.
dude? That's like the best fucking lettuce.
Well,
Are you serious?
It is actually up until recently, up until the 2018 E. coli outbreak, romaine lettuce was the most popular lettuce in America. It's now been lost something like I think they said $90 million in business, and it's moved to the second place spot. And now America loves iceberg lettuce again.
Ugh. No fucking taste or flavor to that shit, dude.
Crunchy water is what I call it.
You know what the fucking...
Yeah, you're right about that.
My favorite lettuce...
But I do like a good wedge salad,
dude,
so.
You ever had butter lettuce?
Butter lettuce is
butter
really
lettuce.
good.
Dude, that's like my favorite.
It's almost like spinach.
That's good on a burger, too.
It's got that velvety leaf to it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, romaine lettuce is apparently the most susceptible to being contaminated by E. coli. Do you know how E. coli gets into the lettuce?
Animal shit?
Shit water.
Yeah, well, it's animal shit, animal puke, any kind of animal. But it's not. It's mostly cows in these, because a lot of the places where they grow lettuce are right next to these big things called capos.
Okay.
It was a concentrated CAFOs, concentrating animal feeding operation.
Oh.
That's basically factory farming.
Is it like runoff from those
Yes.
facilities they get they contaminate the lettuce?
All places that grow lettuce have to have those open irrigation system, those open roadside aqueducts that I don't know if you've ever seen them. There's a ton of them in the Central Valley.
Yeah, I've seen them.
If they're growing lettuce, they have to have that above ground water source
Right.
to pull from, and a lot of cow operations set up in the same, geographic vicinity as these lettuce operations.
Right. And
the
they
cow
contaminate
shit.
the
Even though there's regulations against letting cow dung and shit into those water supplies.
For obvious
it happens.
reasons, yeah.
It happens.
Right. But it happens anyway, and then the lettuce gets contaminated, and then a bunch of people die, and then romaine lettuce loses $90 million.
Wild pigs are also a big source of this, apparently, as they are very persistent about getting into these fields. Farmers of lettuce fields typically put 8-foot fences around to keep the ground animals out, but the wild hogs they're fence circumventing motherfuckers. They're going to go under it. They're going to go through it. They're going to eat part of it. And,
I mean, we always hear about how smart pigs are. I mean, and look, I mean, they're ferocious omnivores. They are eating machines.
Yeah.
And if there's a giant supply of food that they can possibly get their fucking tusks on, they're going to fucking do it.
Yeah. But, there was a lot of little interesting factoids in there. Like, enough lettuce is sold every day for 40% of everyone in America to have a salad.
Huh.
Damn.
That's a lot of fun. Think about that. It was something like, it was thousands or it was millions of tons.
Right. And I mean, like, because a lot of times, even if you're not eating a fucking salad, like, there's lettuce on your fucking cheeseburger, or there's lettuce on, whatever, this or that or the other thing.
But I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Enough leafy greens and vegetables every day for every person in America to decide, I'm just going to have a big ass salad. Or 40% of America, which is still hundreds of millions of people, right?
Dude, maybe it's Operation Take Out the.
I guess 40% of America would be more like 30 million.
It's Operation Take Out the vegans.
No,
it's
more than that.
Because a lot of E. coli you get from hamburgers, like you see that constantly in the news. Like those get recalled all the time.
The population of the U.S. is what, 330 million or something like that?
323 million,
something like that.
U.S. population.
So 30% would be.
Well, 40%. You said
40%. Yeah.
U.S. population is 327 million.
Okay, 327 million.
So 40% of that's like pretty close to. It's probably right around 150 million.
Damn.
About 160.
Because it's pretty close to half. It'd be a little under 150 million, I think.
No.
What?
Oh, no, is it 50%?
40%.
Oh, 40%. Okay.
50% would be over 150
Yeah, okay.
million.
I thought you were saying 50%.
40% would be a little shy.
Yeah,
of
that makes sense.
Because I'm kind of just rounding down to 300 million, and just kind of going from there. But yeah, I mean, it'd be over 100 million people could eat a fucking salad, and just
Like 130
every day.
About 130 million people.
I know that. I mean, I know America, and 40% of people ain't eating a fucking salad every day. So
I learned a lot of the
no.
branding on salad is just bullshit too. Like they'll tell you, like a lot of the bags of salad that you'll buy, they say triple washed on the bag.
Yeah,
And that does nothing to protect you from the bacteria. Like washing the lettuce is more about getting the dirt and grit out of the leaves and shit. And so
you would have to wash it in like a chemical solution.
Yep.
To get rid of that.
they
stuff.
spray chlorine on it.
yeah.
So they'll wash all the lettuce down in chlorine and then rinse it 3 times to get all the chlorine off of it.
That's basically what they're doing. They're trying to kill the bacteria. And
They
shit.
said that it's effective at killing like 99% of the bacteria, but that's not enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
plus, I
there's
mean, you put it on a fucking store shelf somewhere, that bacteria can.
Well, it takes so few cells to get you sick of E. coli too.
Right.
10 cells. So 10 little pieces, 10 little tiny fucking microcells of E. coli is all it takes to get you fucking violently ill.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the food supply of our country and the world is kind of crazy. Like, they had Bluebell ice cream, which is a big thing in the South. And I remember, I don't know if people, I mean, well, most people probably remember this. Not the fact that people lick the ice cream, because I know they're probably going to that. Just the fact that they had to shut down Bluebell.
yeah.
It was almost like a year because of listeria.
That was a listeria.
And remember Jenny's ice cream in Columbus, Ohio? That place.
Yeah.
They had to shutter all their stores. They could, and they sell a lot of that around the Ohio area. Even like here, like they sell it nationwide. Same problem. And it's probably coming from these cows or something that just or these factories where they're making all this shit. And no matter what they do, I mean, a lot of times it's like even if they sanitize it, it's just that these bugs are just coming out. Like,
It's a
there's nothing they can
symptom
do.
of like the modern world, basically. Like these giant factory farms and stuff. They're insane. Like the amount of disease and stuff that is easily spread throughout those tiny.
plus-
Also the
confined
fact that you
shit
Plus, I
covered
mean, like the
conditions.
environmental impacts of that kind of shit
Right.
too. I
You
mean,
can sanitize it so many times, but the thing is that all that remains is the super resistant bacteria.
all
So it's
that
like
remains.
all that romaine.
unintentional.
So, by the way, the symptoms of E. coli, in case anyone out there is wondering, severe abdominal pain,
Diarrhea.
watery diarrhea,
Yep.
beginning a few hours after the pain begins, bright red, bloody stools around a day later. So, after your first day of severe diarrhea, then you start fucking shitting blood,
Yep.
some nausea, in some cases, vomiting. Fever, usually below 101, so mild fever. But fatigue and dehydration, pretty bad. It says, though, that some people have no noticeable symptoms, but
Yeah.
can spread it to others.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Carriers.
It doesn't affect the animals that are the sources of it either.
Well, we have E. coli in our guts right now, in our
Right.
colons. It's harmless to us because it's like our E. coli or whatever. But there's different strains and all that shit.
Did you guys hear about this thing where they said that the human body temperature is actually supposed to be revised down because back when they actually did the original measurement, so 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know what that is Celsius, but that people had so much inflammation and diseases in their bodies that like the temperature was actually higher. So they actually believe that the actual normal temperature now that people don't have that as much in contemporary times is actually going to be revised down.
To what?
I'm not sure what they didn't say the number in the article I read, but I was just kind of interested to see that. That was like, because all believe 98.6 degrees. I mean, like I said, I don't know what that is in the rest of the world, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's supposed to be revised down
Oh, okay.
just based on the fact that people don't constantly battling infections. Because a lot of people used to have like obviously their teeth would be falling out of their mouth, decaying. They'd have a bunch of infections there. They have infections.
So that
on
because their
body.
body was so under siege, it actually raised the general temperature.
Yeah, and the overall population.
So
yeah.
basically, everyone on Earth was running a slight fever.
That's what it sounds like.
Crazy. Okay.
Just kind of shit that like the more we study shit, it's like you like I mean for our whole life, it's like what's the normal temperature? 98.6 degrees. So if you're around there, you think you're good, but then you'll have people. It's like, well, they're 97. Oh, well, that's kind of weird that their temperature's kind of low. But it's obviously always been a scale. But just to find out that it was just like no, humanity was battling so many diseases, our temperatures were always up.
By the way, it's worse to buy the bagged lettuce that's already broken up because that's mixed in with lettuce from all over the fucking country.
Right. It's the same as like buying ground beef versus buying like one
whole piece of
solid
meat.
piece of beef. I actually bought a meat grinder intending to grind my own beef, but
You never done it.
yeah, I did it. I tried it once and it didn't turn out well. But I don't think I had a fatty enough piece, so I have to learn a little bit more about that
Grind up your beef, boy.
because it is a lot better.
Dude, I've seen the cartoons. You just put the meat in the top and you crank the handle and it spits out the noodles of beef.
Yeah, I mean that is what happened, but there has to be enough fat in there for it to like come out coherently, because otherwise it comes out really like dry and nasty.
I've seen Bugs Bunny do it a bunch of times.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, did you do it like a low fat one?
Yeah. I think it was too. The piece of beef I had was too lean. I needed a fattier piece, or I needed to add some fat to it.
You needed a fattier piece. Why don't you just put your ass off in there, TJ?
My ass would not fit in there. I'll tell you that. My ass ain't fitting in that thing.
Wow.
Damn.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
What the
It's
fuck?
okay.
Paul?
It's all
Take
right.
it all back.
Put your fat, worthless ass in the meat grinder, TJ.
Oh man, I wish there's a mob boss reviews mafia movie scenes on BuzzFeed Video.
Oh.
I don't know how big of a
I don't
mob
know.
boss he was, but I'm kind of interested. But I'll have to watch that later.
Yeah.
I wonder what the fuck he'll say.
I have to watch BuzzFeed later, guys.
This one right here is bullshit.
This is bullshit here. Mob bosses don't fucking talk like that.
I tell him to suck my fucking prick.
Fuck me. Oh, Captain Trips, man.
Fuck. You just sneezed it all over us.
Coronavirus. TJ, do you want coronavirus?
Coronavirus ain't shit compared to Captain Trips, dude.
That's what you think now, TJ?
Yeah, maybe coronavirus is mutating right now as we speak. Becoming Captain Trips.
Even more people infected, TJ.
If that does happen, I'm gonna make sure that name sticks. I want the stand to come true.
Well, I mean, if you live long enough, it likely will.
So, TJ, isn't there like now 17,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus?
I don't know.
I know there were just 2 confirmed in San Francisco in the Bay Area in California.
You know what? Figures. Them damn liberals.
Well, there's a lot of people that immigrated from China in the Bay
What you trying to
Area.
say, Paul?
Well, no, I'm just saying
What you trying to say, Paul?
they visit home.
Oh, okay,
They
Paul.
visit the mother
Fucking
country.
racist.
They bring back the fucking
The death
Captain Trips.
says the death toll has now passed SARS.
Told you.
China's health commission reported on Sunday there were 475 recoveries and 361 deaths nationwide.
There's a lot more than that.
Health experts say they are encouraged by the steady rise in the number of recoveries. They say they take it as evidence that treatments meted out have been effective and the virus does not appear to be as deadly as SARS. It's definitely more contagious, though. SARS had a mortality rate of 9.6%, and about 2% of those who have reported infected with the coronavirus have died.
Yep, which is in line with what we said. But I mean, you know, that's the good news.
Well, no one has seen what we said yet because they haven't seen that episode.
But yeah, well, I know. But the good news is that, you know, it's way more infectious. So as we've seen, well, I guess people haven't seen that yet, but basically, larger number of people infected, even with a lower mortality rate, still a lot of dead people.
Yeah, I don't know what the current. I think it's over. I mean, it's over 10,000. I know that.
The last thing I think I read was like 17,000 confirmed
Maybe.
cases of coronavirus.
Let's see.
And the little bats just fly around happily. Oh, is there another bug for me to eat? Oh, hello, human. Would you like coronavirus?
Yeah. Yeah, it's more than tripled in the past week to 17,000.
I've seen these. This guy went. He basically posted this to Twitter. Maybe some Chinese site initially. He was in a hospital in China,
including now 11 cases in the U.S.
and he was walking around, dude. And it's just like he walks into the hospital. It's like this. Oh, this guy's no longer breathing. He's fucking toast. And there was a fucking like I think going to the morgue, and there was a bunch of bodies piled in it. It wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like stacked to the brim, but it was like there was at least fucking 5 to 10 bodies. And they were just talking about the number of bodies and people that are just dying left and right from this thing. So if the official death toll is 361, I would honestly imagine it's probably much higher than that. Now, I don't think it's crazy proportions. I don't think they have to cover it up too much, but they're definitely not being...
So here's like a live counter, I guess. We have 17,488 cases, 362 deaths, 523 recoveries, and it says of those 17,488 cases, 2,298 are in critical condition.
So as the number of cases rises, I mean, if you have 100,000 people, you know, you might see 2,000 deaths from this.
And see, I don't know, dude. If the Stand was as prescient as some people want to make it out to be, there's no way that part of that book is that the government doesn't tell the populace the truth about what's going on.
I mean, like the cover up that happens in the book, I was like, it was kind of giving me like a hint of incredulity and shit. Because I'm looking at it like, man, there's no fucking way that they would be able to maintain the cover up this long. But then I remember this is like
it was written.
It was pre-internet days.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, like even like today, it would be like people would be trying to get the information out there, but then other people would be saying like, "Oh, this is a conspiracy theory and all this," and there'd be like a bunch of people arguing about it on Twitter and shit. Yeah. So it'd still basically be mass confusion.
Basically, we'd all be dropping like flies, and people be like, "No, it's not. It's fine. No, it's not." Until it fucking comes for you. Isn't I think I went and read about this because I was doing research for the episode that I did. No, people haven't seen it yet, but isn't it just supposed to be like a mutation of the flu virus in the Stand? That's just like, but super deadly.
It's like the common cold.
Oh, yeah. It's the common cold.
Yeah. So it's a coronavirus.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, and it was like made in like a government lab and shit.
Oh, that's right, and it gets out and kills everybody basically.
Well, basically like a fail-safe fails, and someone who should have been quarantined is actually able to escape the facility, and
with his family.
Yeah, and then him and his family die, and they end up spreading the disease all across the country.
Yeah, and it's something like 99.4% of all people are fucking killed.
Yeah, it's like something like that, 99% or more.
Yeah,
and the book basically follows like 5 or 6 characters that are all naturally immune as they, kind of experience the aftermath of.
I mean, so much of the book, I forgot how much of that book is like
the lead up,
dedicated to the lead up to the plague. Because I mean, like I'm on chapter like 20 or something now, and it still hasn't really kicked in.
Yeah, it kicks in the 20s. In the chapter 20 range.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to happen now. Like, people are getting sick all over the place. But people haven't realized, like, what a world-ending, devastating fucking, scenario it is, other than the people in the government who are still trying to keep it, under wraps.
Well, I mean, I believe as well that it's like it's constantly mutating, so there's basically no effective weapon against it. So everyone's just either you're immune to it or you die.
The reason Captain Trips is so effective is because it's so fast. Like one day you catch it, and then the next day you die, basically. I mean, in some cases people live longer, but it just has an enormously high kill rate, and it just they might have been able to fight it if it wasn't so transmissible, but so many people have it. There's just not the medical facilities to treat people with it. So
yeah, and like you said,
just overwhelms the hospital structure.
Anyone that catches it dies, so it's not like there's any. It's like like a rabies kind of thing. It's like the scare thing, like. What if rabies went airborne? It's like basically every human on the earth, unless they were immune to it in some way, would just be dead.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy.
But we could cure rabies.
I mean, I don't know if you can cure it, but you can. But there's like a way to like.
I thought there was like this treatment of like.
Yeah, you can get multiple shots, and you can survive.
And you got to get a bunch of horrible like shots in your stomach and shit, and.
But it's only effective once though.
Right.
I believe after that, if you ever contract rabies again, you'll just die.
Oh, okay, shit.
Damn.
Well, don't get rabies twice.
But rabies is so fast acting, like he's like saying. So it's like if it went airborne and a bunch of people got it, they would just die. I mean, like every medical facility would be overwhelmed. Maybe some people could survive and maybe be saved if that treatment was still effective. But if it mutates and evolves, maybe that treatment is no longer effective. I don't know. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's not. I mean, then you'd be looking at 99.9% of all humanity just dying off.
Cool.
Sweet.
Well, we need.
I'm immune to rabies. I can't get it. Yeah. It's one of my superpowers. One of my many.
Well, you'd finally get your wish, Paul. You'd be able to read and do whatever you want. You'd be like the guy.
Oh man, just the quiet of it is what drives me now. I've turned into a full-blown old man now. I want the quiet. There were kids running around my apartment complex having fun and stuff the other day, and I was just like, fuck this. The sound of children at play is like horrifying.
Nails on a chalkboard. Oh, yeah. Paul's rocking chair was delivered to him, TJ, so now I can sit there and rock out and be like...
It's true. It's wonderful. I was doing that yesterday.
These damn kids.
All these kids were out playing because their parents were all watching the Super Bowl and shit, and I'm sitting out on my porch like, why must they scream? You guys are standing right next to each other. Just so it felt good. Felt good.
Now
I've been waiting for this phase of my life to start. So I'm at, a lot of people would be like, "Oh no," but I'm just like, "Yes."
Paul's like, "Oh god damn it, finally it fits me like a fucking glove."
I feel like I was just born a crotchety old man, and now I'm finally becoming one, and it feels good.
YouTube says it will remove birther conspiracy videos ahead of caucus. Birther conspiracy?
Yeah, what is the birther conspiracy about?
Of course. YouTube is making clear there will be no birtherism on its platform. Like,
who's doing birtherism this election cycle?
Wow, okay, good job, YouTube. You nailed it.
Good job.
Who's being accused of not being an American?
All right,
or not being eligible?
Google said it will remove any videos that advance false claims about whether political candidates and elected officials are eligible to serve in office.
Sounds like that's about, 4 years, to 8 years too late.
Yeah,
like back when birtherism was an actual political tool that was being used. Like Obama can't even be president because he wasn't born in America.
That's why, in my view, the British just should not be allowed to run. No one knows where he was born. It's like, what? No one's saying that.
Yeah, that's just not a thing.
Who the fuck is saying that?
It's just fucking
is
YouTube ass patting itself now because there's barely any birther videos left, so it's easy to police. Just like,
I have no idea.
Yeah, Obama isn't running this cycle, so...
What about all the false claims that are coming out of all the major news media YouTube channels that YouTube doesn't seem to do anything about?
Yeah.
What about enforcing a standard of truth in that?
Nah.
No? Nah.
No
Why
time.
not?
No time.
Well, there are big advertising buddies and corporate, media buddies. We can't do that to them. Why would we do that to them, Paul? Look how many views they're getting us. Oh, wait, we just inflated their view counts by putting them on the front page.
They're getting views, in a lot of cases, spreading misinformation about candidates and providing biased analysis of, candidates.
They use the best information available at the time, Paul, to make a decision, and obviously now that they've realized the information is correct, they've retracted it.
Photoshopping Bernie to make him look like a Nosferatu or something.
Actual photo Bernie Sanders.
They're painting all these purple veins and shit on him, and
remember the one they made him super flushed and
he's all splotchy and orange and weird looking.
Also, anytime CNN talks about Bernie, it's like the senator who's recently survived a health scare. It's like, oh my god, dude! Anytime they can bring up Bernie's heart attack, anything negative about him.
It's just obvious.
Tonight is the Iowa caucus, so
yeah.
We finally get to see who's going to win that.
The caucus. Oh, man, I saw this. They were spreading this story yesterday that's like, Bernie's planning to announce victory after the first round of voting because he's going to win that, but it's going to mess with the results because we don't just go on that. You got to fucking, there's multiple rounds of caucusing and such.
So to be viable, if you don't know, you need 15%.
Right. And so basically, yeah, and like the other people who don't get 15%, their fucking delegates are free to move around to other candidates. So even though Bernie might get the majority of the initial vote, a bunch of other candidates may be like, we're all in for Biden. And so Biden might walk away with the more delegates.
Precisely.
But Bernie's plan, I guess, is that as soon as the first vote's done, they'll be like, we win, bitch. Which they said, the news media is like.
Would that stop further voting?
No, it wouldn't stop it, but it might put pressure on those delegates to be like, yeah, we're with Bernie.
And well, they're stupid if they do that.
The establishment is afraid of that. I mean, it really should just be like whoever gets the largest percent of votes wins, but of course,
if they want to reform the voting system, that's fine, but that's not even how in the general election would work. You're not able to say, hey, well, if my choice doesn't win, then I want to I want to pass my vote on it.
Yeah, if we had tiered choice voting or something.
Yeah, then sure, but it's like the Iowa caucus thing is kind of silly because it's not even how our system truly works. When you actually go to vote for real, like you have you have D or you have R or you have independent, which is throwing your vote in the toilet because this country is too stupid to have anything but this false dichotomy of choice.
Which flavor of retard do you want?
I want that one. Let me pull the lever for him.
I want a right-wing retard. I want a centrist retard. All right. America's made its choice. The end. It's like, all right, cool. Awesome. I really feel like my voice was heard.
Yeah.
I
love it in this country.
It's a great country. Great system. Really fucking shines like the shining beacon, the city on the hill.
Yeah, I love when the corporate media is somehow the defender of democracy. Wait a minute. Bernie's going to try to steal it. You mean like you guys have done every other election before this?
What was that big ass poll in Iowa too? It was like the 11th hour poll that a lot of people rely on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it got canceled.
Yeah, because Booty Judge was like, wait a minute. They said mispronounce my name. It was stupid. It was literally some stupid shit like that. Like, it was like they mispronounced his name or something.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Who here wants to vote for Buttigieg?
They didn't ask it right.
Wrong question.
Pull the poll.
Pull it.
Really,
All right.
the reason they polled it was that Sanders was leading too. His lead was too vast. So
They were like, "Oh shit, we don't like just
Not putting this out.
just poll.
we don't like this
flawed.
poll no more. Flawed poll, bad poll, no good. We don't like it." And of course, the DNC is considering rule changes because they took the superdelegate votes out of the first round of voting as a concession to Sanders back in 2016, but now they're trying to put them back to once again form that blockade to democracy.
Remember that thing with Bloomberg too was that you needed the small number of donations, and it's like, well, it's just the amount of money really now.
Yeah, Bloomberg. So they excluded people like Julian Castro and Cory Booker and all these other guys because they didn't have the proper, they didn't have enough individual donors.
Yeah.
And then Bloomberg shows up. He gives like $1 million to the DNC, and all of a sudden the rules change to let him be on stage.
Well, his campaign has like $200 million in it because he's a billionaire. He can just go,
Yeah.
okay, here you go.
So now it's like nothing. So
He just styred his way into it.
yeah. I mean, even more blatantly though, because he literally got them to change the rules for him.
How did Steyer do it?
I mean, he actually had enough individual donors. He's actually popular in a couple of states, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen actually if you look at the Google search map
Like,
for the U.S.
in North Carolina
Steyer
and
has a
stuff.
lot of votes.
What is it? I don't know if
votes,
it's
but
North or
searches.
South Carolina. One of the Carolinas, I think, he has some support there, and there's a few other places where Steyer actually is polling pretty well, strangely enough. But Bloomberg, I mean, he ain't shit anywhere. No one gives a fuck.
He fucking totally bought his way in.
So he outright. He gave here's $800,000 to the DNC, and the DNC's like, oh cool, yeah, you're allowed to come to the debates. We changed the rules. It's fine.
That's great.
Let's trade one billionaire buffoon for another billionaire buffoon.
It's just like transparent. They're not even trying to hide what they've done. It's just like, yeah, we did it. No big deal.
Well, you can see the appeal to the DNC because, if someone like
Money, right.
No, the money. If Bloomberg got the nomination, he could run it against Trump as like, I'm the even more successful business, because Trump can't run like, I know business better. He could be like, well, I made more money than you. You're broke compared to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's kind of an appeal to that where it's like Trump can't really use his business credentials as much. But
Yeah,
I don't think that.
I like this new precedent of people just buying their way to election victory. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a sign of a strong democracy when you just come with a bunch of money and you get to run.
Let's just have naked oligarchy. Enough of this covert oligarchy shit. Just
Who
outright.
who will spend more money to win the presidency?
The more money you have, the more the president you are.
Well, I already know that, dude.
What do you mean, when are we going to have naked oligarchy?
I mean, just outright, just I'm rich, I get to be president. Let's just fucking go to Jeff Bezos and be like, you're the richest man in the country, you're president.
But, I mean, we basically, I don't know. We don't come right out and say it, but we basically have that
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Let's just come right out and say it.
I mean, Hillary's campaign spent $700 million. Like, if in this country, the only way you're going to win is if you have a lot of money either backing you or you personally hold it. That's the only way you're getting elected. You're not, that's why Bernie is seen as such an outlier to the political process, because he doesn't have either of those things.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Grease Trap. See you again next time.
Bye.